Hi, I'm Sarah Noble, your host for the Modern Day Intuitive Podcast. For over 25 years, I've been on a spiritual journey, searching, learning, expanding, and growing. I've traveled the world, led by my heart, on a quest to know myself so that I can support others. This podcast was created from my deep desire to help you connect with your intuition and to inspire you to create a life where the impossible becomes possible and you live into your sacred dreams and desires. Thanks for being here and enjoy the show. Hello, my loves. So good to be here with you today. Thanks for listening and for being here and for being you and really having the courage to commit to yourself and this beautiful spiritual journey that we're on together. So with the turn of the season, I have a little cold, so my voice is a little gruff. Forgive me. But here we are, and I do want to remind you of the free mini course, Intuitive Soul Awakening, that's available. There's a link in the show notes. This is my gift to you to look at all the ways you can deepen your intuition through the power of your deciding, how you can expand your soul by living your purpose, and giving you the tools to make the impossible possible. So I'd love to invite you to share in that mini course. Also, as always, there's my free gift, Ignite Your Intuition, which includes a meditation, a workbook, an audio recording, and a ceremony for you to work through with the earth as a way to ignite your intuition and just open yourself as a portal to all the magic that is available to you in the universe. So for our call today, Cassandra is here with us, and she's in a transition. She is going through a spiritual awakening process and has left her career and wants to use these new gifts that she's receiving in different ways and is looking for guidance on how to navigate this space with more presence and appreciation. Through this reading, we look at the process of shifting from a practical and responsible way of being, which so many of us are inside of and have grown up with that conditioning. And we look at how to move into the more magical and spirit-led mystery of life. We talk about letting go of the illusion of the reality that we live inside of, embracing the darkness and the unknown as part of your spiritual awakening journey, dismantling the current collective narratives about money, success, and abundance. We look at your path and purpose and how they are already alive in your heart. And your journey is one of listening and trusting to what your heart tells you. We look at harnessing the gifts of your past lives to show you how to move forward on your spiritual path. And focusing on what you have done rather than what you haven't done. And how this all ties into the importance of gratitude on your journey. So my loves, enjoy this beautiful reading. I love you. Hi, Cassandra. Welcome to the show. How can I help you today?
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your gift with me today. I would love guidance or anything that you may be able to share related to the theme of transition. I've been in a period of my life where I'm in transition, and while I am practicing being present in the moment and appreciating every second I can, it can be challenging to embrace a period of time where things are changing. I've come out of one career and I've been using my gifts or feeling called to use my gifts in different ways. And so anything you might be able to share related to guidance on that subject?
Yeah, thank you. So I feel a lot of sensation in my crown chakra as connected to you of your intuitive gifts. They're already awakened, but they're expanding. And also this sense of dropping down, like the images that you're showing me are really very magical, very etherical, kind of make me think of fairies and lots of beautiful colors like raining down and swirling around. And it's like this magical adventure land. And this idea of, as you're in this transition, there's this part of you that wants to be more practical, wants to maybe be sensible, is the word I'm hearing, responsible. And there's this real call of your soul to connect in with this really magical world that I see just unfolding for you. So, what comes forward for you with that information?
Oh gosh, man, I'm already feeling it. Well, it's interesting you said awakening because I actually did go through an awakening, which has been part of this transition. So that's accurate. I've also had others similarly describe me as well, but when you talk about the crown chakra, that's my place of comfort. I like systems. I like things that I can describe in practical, easy to digest ways. And I definitely feel like I'm meant to share my realizations, but there is this other side of me that could be described as all those beautiful things that you expressed, raining down colors and fairies and just the curiosity of the magical and all that other areas and realms that are more challenging to bring into practical terms. So I'd say, yeah, all of that presently resonates.
So, part of this journey, right? You're inside of a transition. And what I see is that there's a physical component to your transition, but there's a spiritual, energetic component that's happening underneath. And it's transitioning from relying on your mind to create a plan, to create systems, to structure life for you, and transitioning into this being more in the flow of life, being in the mystery, allowing yourself to really sink into the uncertainty. There's a lot of magic that's available to you when you can let go. And like I see you on a threshold where you're part still in this, let's say, real world in quotes. And then there's the threshold of where you're just leaping into the magical world, into even more of what you don't understand right now, but that is coming alive inside of you, this remembering that this is actually the real world in this side of the threshold. So, with this information, where do you want to go? How do you want to move forward to gather information for this transition?
I have had some interesting things, such as I had this past summer a recent upload of light language that was definitely more of a mystical gift for me. I would say where I'm wanting to go with my career is this partly this personal journey of coming into this or becoming more comfortable with it. Would you say that it's coming up as that's an essential key to a breakthrough in what I'm here to share? And as I go through this journey, more clarity will come, I guess.
Yes. So, letting go, right? You're moving from one way of living in one version of reality. And it's like the illusion is falling away, like the veil is dropping. And it's like you're in this way, you're kind of showing me yourself as wobbly, that you're not entirely convinced yet of what you're seeing and how it's playing out. You still have one foot in the other world. Like, the practical has done me so well. And yet here's this whole other world opening up to me. Not really sure how to put both feet in one world. And what I'm seeing is that as you let yourself open to this new way of being, you start letting the old identities fall away and not clinging to them. It will reveal itself. And it's very magical for you. Like there's just so much like this really beautiful, magical energy that is connected to your gifts. And part of you uncovering what you are here to do, there's like this space you're showing it me as like a hallway that you're walking through as you're crossing this threshold. And there's important steps through this hallway. It's like a dark kind of tunnel hallway. As you walk through that, learning to take steps into the darkness, knowing that you are walking towards something, as you build that frequency inside you, as you build that trust inside you, that it's okay to be in this dark tunnel, that you don't have to get to the other side just yet, you're going to be able to move through it faster. And when you come to sort of the opening that I see, it's like, now I get it. But there's an important part of this process of you walking through this tunnel, this kind of not really seeing it clearly yet. What happens when I share that with you?
Yeah, I definitely can relate to the tunnel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the light at the end of it.
Yeah. And so here's what I know, right? Is that the darkness is equally as important as the light. So, really allowing yourself to embrace the darkness, to embrace the not knowing, and to recognize that it has just as many gifts, if not more, than when you get to the end of that tunnel. Like there's an important part of your journey that you get to experience inside of where you are right now. And then this magical part of you, it's taking what's in the darkness and really metabolizing it is the word, so that then that is going to pour from you into the world. It's part of what you're here to share, what you're here to give to the world. But unless you actually process it for yourself, you can't share it. So it's the treasure, it's the gold that is available for you in this tunnel that will show you how you're going to use that treasure. So, what is something that you're resisting at the moment?
I think that I definitely am trying to be present. So, where I'm coming from, I went from kind of supporting myself, I guess you could say financially. And this transition has kind of put me in a position where I'm not able to do that like I was. And I think it just makes me a little antsy and uncomfortable. I mean, I know I'm provided for and everything is fine. I think I just am trying to figure out how I can be present, be in this transition, be authentic to who I am, use those gifts, go through the journeys, but also be supported financially.
Yeah. In my experience, a big part of spiritual awakening includes deconstructing what we believe about money and being supported in abundance. And sometimes we have to walk this very scary tightrope of, will we have enough? Will spirit support us? Will the details get worked out? And it's an opportunity for you to look at everything that you have been taught and everything you believe about the narrative we live inside of money, of success, of abundance, of support, because there is an illusion about all those things that we have been taught. And part of being on a spiritual journey is the dismantling of all of that. So the way I see you is you're on the real journey. And the real journey is wild and it can be frightening. And yet there is so much magic alive inside you that is asking for your attention. And so rather than focusing on what you don't have that you used to have in the material way, it's the focusing on what you're gaining, what's opening inside you that you didn't used to have, that essentially becomes more important. The other things end up taking care of themselves, but this portal that you are inside of, it's almost like, well, this old version of you has to die, right? Metaphorically die, in order for this true, authentic version of you to step forward into your new life. What's coming up for you?
No, that's that's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just sort of absorbing and digesting it.
How connected to your guides are you, your spirit guides?
Very. I do have a regular meditation process, and I would say my strongest clair gift would be clairaudient. And so when I take time to connect, I have a regular guiding voice that I like to think of as my guides that intuitively speaks and connects with me. So I would say, yeah, my spiritual practice of connecting and self-reflection are important to me and my journey.
So one of your guides came in, and the way that I experience them is like a superhero. They kind of came flying in with a cape and like, I'm here to the rescue. There is a process that you are inside of really understanding how supported you are. And the way I feel you is this sinking down into this realization that sort of everything you believed before is being stripped away as you are sinking into the new reality that is unfolding before you. And I feel a lot of energy in my heart as it's opening and it's asking for you to really listen to it. The path forward involves you being very deeply connected to the wishes of your heart and honoring those, living your life in alignment with those, not just saying, okay, this is what I want, and then doing other things, but it's bringing the actions of your life into alignment with the dreams of your heart. And when I say that, I feel this coming together of your central channel where it can hold more of you as you walk forward in your life because you are honoring your heart. You're honoring this magical connection and you're saying, you know what? I'm willing to risk it all because I believe this, and heart, I'm listening to you and I'm going to continue to follow you. We can trust each other. How can I support you from here?
That was good. Thank you for sharing that. I definitely feel like that has been a part of this journey, is sort of being an advocate as well for myself and being committed to kind of see where things land. I mean, I've been in it 2 years so far, so I'm hanging in there. Yeah. If there was one other thing I could ask, if there's anything that comes up around the topic of part of my experience has been that I'd like to say this as I felt like a vessel in which information has come to me in the form of writing a book, a memoir that is a guiding piece that I have completed and would like to share. The process of understanding the ins and outs of how to go about introducing that to the world has been an area in which I'm also waiting for clarity.
So, what's your question with that, my love?
Is there any guidance, any steps that I could be embodying that would help me through that process?
So, what you're showing me is like you're taking me to Athens in Greece. And there's this power inside you that exists from a life that you lived there. And in that life, you were a successful orator. And the quality of your being, you knew all the way through your being and every cell in your body that this was the truth of you. This was who you are. This is what you were here to do, to speak, to share with the world your gifts, your stories. And it's connecting in with that frequency, with this part of you that is already doing this in another life, that knows so fully that this is the path. There's nothing that can stop you. And so to embody this knowing, this deep, deep knowing that this is you, this is for you, this is what you have to do. And it's less about what you are actually doing, right? Like the steps of reach out to an agent or those kind of things. It's more about you really in every cell of your body knowing that this is your path. And as that happens, there's a vibrational match that goes out into the world that brings these things to you. So you create from your very being, you call it to you.
Thank you. That really resonates. I'm once again just absorbing that. I've had someone else say once to me before, I have connections to Athens or Greece, and I've lost sight of that for a moment. So I appreciate that. And just holding on to that. That was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. They're bringing me back to, where we started with all the beautiful colors and what's available to you. And it's really about what you're focusing on and gratitude for all that you have done, really celebrating yourself and honoring yourself for being on this journey and for being willing to really sit in these hard places as you navigate towards what you really want. A lot of people quit. A lot of people run away. They go back to, oh, all right, it's not worth it. It's too much. It's whatever the story is, right? And yet here you are. It's hard. You're in the tunnel. You're concerned about money and what you're doing. And yet you're still showing up. You're here on this call. You're saying yes to you and you're continuing forward. And that is what makes things happen, is that you keep putting one foot in front of the other. even though all that other stuff is going on, even though there's voices, even though there's fear, even though you don't know what the heck is happening, you keep showing up. And that's an incredible thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Give yourself credit for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's so easy to focus on what we haven't done yet or what we don't know yet. And yet there is a whole pathway behind you of everything you have done. And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does this feel like an okay place to land today?
Yes, thank you so much. That is a lot to digest and absorb, and I thank you for your guidance.
You're welcome, my love. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today and making your personal and spiritual growth a priority in your life. To learn more about connecting with your dreams and your intuition so that you can create a life full of possibilities, visit me at www.sarahnoble.com and see how we can create magic together. A big thank you from my heart to yours for making the planet a better place for us all.